wat? Hier zetten. Resource.
Right, Captain. Where are we headed next?
What you doing?
Seeing the stars from space always gives me goosebumps. Seeing the stars from space always gives me goosebumps.
Eens even kijken welke we gaan doen. De cargo-link. Neon. Secret outpost. Neon. Even googelen hoe we dit doen. Cargo-link. Link is in Starfield is equipped with the ability to store and transfer resources. Oké. Rampsmeester easily transfer. Oh, dan moeten we outpost bouwen. Nog hierop. Eerst doen. Exit. 3. Eigenlijk dus ergens wat heli. Nee. dat nog maar niet doen. Eerst maar eten. Even. Oh. Ja, zie je. Ja. Station. Wacht. Zo, toch hier. Ik moet even eerst daarheen gaan. Nou, gesproken niet. Optie tegenop aandoen. Oh, dit doet. Ook gaan met Q&A direct draaien in plaats van dingen. Even kijken of we dat op andere doen. Okej. Oh. Yes, obey.
Welcome, Captain. We've been expecting you. You're clear to dock at docking port 1.
Lifting off right away, or do you need a little bit of time?
Welcome aboard the UC Vigilance. Did you have any questions before I escort you to the commander?
Yeah.
Of course. If you'd follow me, please. So, you're the vanguard that took down that terramorph on Tau City. You've made quite an impression around here. Everyone upstairs is talking about it. Damn. That must have been one hell of a firefight. I almost regret missing out on all the fun.
Oh, verbaas mee.
Of course, we don't normally see that kind of action on the Vigilance, but we have our moments. All right, Vanguard. Take the lift up to Ops. Commander Akande should be waiting for you. Good luck.
Pak geen kop koffie, pak zak koffie.
Excuse me.
Yes, what? Hey,
Ah, there you are. Commander Kibwe Kande, UC System. Glad to have you aboard. I was beginning to think you were having second thoughts about Commander Tuala's offer. It appears he certainly picked the right person for the job. So,
Met je company.
now that you're part of the team, allow me to introduce you to your new home. This is the Operations Center of the UC Vigilance. SysDef's nerve center, dedicated to the destruction of the Crimson Fleet.
Oké.
Which is precisely why we're taking a more clandestine approach. We need eyes and ears inside the Crimson Fleet. Someone who can feed us information, evidence, and expose their weaknesses. The catch is that you can't just knock on their front door and ask for an application. Getting inside is going to take some finesse. I do.
Op zo'n manier.
Our intelligence has managed to find a possible opening into the Crimson Fleet through Saoirse Bowden, one of their contacts. She works for the Trade Authority in Sidonia, so you'll be using a container of Aurora we've loaded on your ship to get her attention. You'd better hope so. Saoirse won't be easy to dupe. Once you bluff your way into the Crimson Fleet, then the operation proceeds to evidence gathering. That's where my second-in-command, Lieutenant Gillian Toft, comes into the picture. She'll explain everything you need to know. Eager to get going? Good. Remember, this entire operation rests on your ability to infiltrate the Crimson Fleet and bring us the evidence we need to take them down. I wouldn't expect any less. Look, before you begin, I want to make something perfectly clear. As an undercover operative for UC SysDef, you'll be expected to follow our code of conduct and ethics. Allow yourself to stray too far off the path, and you stand a good chance of spiraling out of control. I don't want promises. I'm just asking you to think. Anyway, it's time to hand you over to Lieutenant Toft. She'll brief you about the details of the evidence-gathering portion of the operation. Now, get out of here, and good luck. Good luck.
All right. We don't have a lot of time, so I need you to listen up. While you're working undercover, it's imperative that you gather as much evidence as possible.
Was
If
de
you find any
idee.
records that look suspicious or incriminating, you bring it to me. Is that understood? Rationalize it however you like, but that evidence is critical to the success of Commander Akande's operation. I want data slates, computer downloads, handwritten notes. Hell, I'll take anything if it'll get those bastards thrown into the brig.
Okay.
For the sake of the settled systems, I hope you're right. That minor skirmish you had with them on Vectera was nothing compared to the death and destruction those pirates leave behind. If you've seen what I've seen, you'd understand why I'm pushing you so hard. That's all we're asking. Oh, before you go, there's one more thing.
Altijd.
Commander Akande has authorized a credit disbursement for each piece of evidence that you return, as compensation for your efforts.
Okay, now we're talking.
Commander Akande came up with the idea. He was concerned you might not help us simply because it was the right thing to do. All right, we've loaded a container of Aurora into your ship's cargo hold. We're also providing you with a sample you can use to tease the goods. We've cleared your ship for launch. Proceed to Sidonia. Make contact with Saoirse Bowden. And with any luck, she'll point you to the Crimson Fleet. That should do it. You're dismissed. We'll be here if you need us.
Stil gaan moeten.
Okay, hello.
Een andere.
When you are, Captain.
Ga ik hier meteen even alles dichtgooien? Goed. Alright. Spaceport zijn. Vast.
I'm so excited to see Tony after work.
Doe het, papa. Even kijken. Toepocht. Pochten. Double checken hier.
Hope you're finding it. If you don't see what you want, feel free to... Oh, please, take a look.
Ah, dat is toch. Dat is wel post waarschijnlijk.
Oh, please, take a look.
Cash.
Thanks for coming in.
Ah, hier wel weer een. In een map en lead it to the council. Laten. Wel aan.
Can I help?
Ergens vet. Dan wel.
I have a feeling today's going to be a great day. Don't you agree?
I have an important personal decision to make, but I need to discuss something with you first. Phew, thank you. So, where to start? Before I was with the Navigator Corps, I was career military, part of the United Colonies Navy. When the Colony War broke out, I was posted as the chief navigator on a warship, the Dauntless.
Okay.
Well, the position didn't last long. There was a particularly bloody battle. We were fighting over a world in the Eta Cassiopeia system. Worst fighting I'd ever seen. We lost 12 ships that day. 12. Including my own. I'm well aware how many lives were lost. Now let me finish. The ship was barely intact. The captain and first mate died the previous day, which put me in command. A shrewd captain would have called for the crew to abandon ship, but I was so angry. I wanted to stay. I needed to fight. The Dauntless was a tough little ship. No shields and the hull was breached, but it still had power. And weapons. That's why I remained in the battle. Huge mistake. Well, I didn't have the luxury of indecision. I had to act. We fought for hours, but the damage was fatal. I gave the order to abandon ship and the crew piled into the escape shuttle. As the shuttle launched, I could see it was damaged. I heard screams before the radio cut. The last thing I saw, they were spiraling helplessly towards the planet's surface. There was nothing I could do. You're sorry. For me? If I hadn't been so stubborn, so eager to prove that I could handle command, my crew would have had more time to escape. Yes, they expected to serve on the best ships, with the best captains. The crew of the Dauntless had to settle for me. When the dust settled, the United Colonies gave me a medal. Can you believe that? A damn medal. I never even had a chance to find the shuttle wreckage and give my crew a proper burial.
Okay.
Bad luck. That sounds familiar. Remember when you said no one but me would have pushed harder to keep the Navigator Corps going? Well, this time, pushing too hard cost lives. Don't you get it? Everything I do, everything I touch, somehow falls apart. That's why I'm worried about us. After everything you've heard, all my stories, you still have faith.
Ja, ik ben de hero
No
van
one
deze
ever
game.
cared
Maar
about me
niet.
this much. Not even Aja. I'm counting on that. Look, I think I've said all I can handle for now. Thank you for being there, for listening to me when I needed it the most. I'll never forget this. I promise.
Na, 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 na. Eens kijken. Moet ik ook meteen kunnen doen?
Captain! Over here! The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head.
Uiteraard.
My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus, woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin, a title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come. He would have happily told you he was one of the greats. Ultimately, though, it didn't matter. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death, on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
Okay.
I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or, if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here. That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars. The Red Devils unit I was a part of, they were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. Folks used to adversity. The dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. The human eye included. Where the name Red Devils came from in the first place. It became an unwritten rite of passage that anyone wanting to enlist with the Devils had to do a stint in the mines before they could join up. The Devils were always talked about in such revered tones during my training, so as soon as I was old enough, I signed up. And the eyes were my parting gift.
Dat verwacht erop.
Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Sounds like our cue. Here we go.
Ah, Captain. Congratulations on joining the ranks of the Vanguard.
Dank u, denk ik. Right, zo. We zien waarschijnlijk hier wel een paar belangrijke keuzes moeten maken, gok ik.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Ja.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor. That is something to consider. Though we also have to take into account the nature of the data you require.
Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask, how many deaths the cabinet requires to act? 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt, the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties. Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this Terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
Best wel.
Just taking her word for it as well, then.
So it would seem. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
I'm uncomfortable opening the archives without gathering more information. However, if that's the path forward you prefer, then so be it.
I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
Well, I am not. I've heard nothing here to convince me that we should do anything but wait. And I will not risk galactic peace on a question of if.
Yes, a fair assessment, Chief Diplomat. So then, while the data you two have presented is compelling, I think we can safely say it's insufficient for the level of action you've requested. Perhaps once we... What was that?
Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident? Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Damn it. They're here. Now.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly.
Ja.
The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Hoe wil je dat voor
Admiral
elkaar
Logan, the
krijgen?
local barracks can provide support.
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
Point and shoot? Jesus Christ. Dat is een soort speciaal aan die boy. Buiten het vet. Buiten het feit dat ze veel hitpoints hebben. Dat wel zijn, maar... In feite, ja.
That's it. Now hit him with everything you've got.
We're trying to help you!
Peppe? Een of andere reden. Electric beams. Ja, weapons engaged non-lethally. Ah. Wie hebben we dat ook weer? Bummer.
Stop!
Yes? Want to see what I'm carrying?
Oh nee, ik ben...
So long. Stop.
Lights out on that one.
What is it?
Thank you for what you did. We didn't We didn't want to hurt them.
Here.
The way those people were acting, I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready. Let's do it.
Nat's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
Yeah, la, la, la.
No time to waste, Captain. Stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move!
An evacuation order has been issued for the spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
You might back up. Don't just stand there. Good.
Captain! You're going to be okay! It's not real! Whatever you're experiencing right now, it's not real! We have to put down that force!
Officer, are you and this woman experts? Take whatever we can get right now. We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, but we're barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before, huh? Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Okay. Guns.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with Terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here, but we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us.
Okay.
Roger that. We're on you.
Ain't getting all worked up over nothing.
Take what I can get. Hij is zo schoon.
Well, I suppose they're not going to need it anymore.
They're going to betray you. Every last one.
Goed. Wel eentje minder die me niet in mijn rug gaat schieten. Mijn favoriete. Oh, dat is wel lekker. Hoi.
Damn it.
All wrapped up. We should go tell the sergeant what happened.
It's over. Thank God. If these things reached the populated areas of the city, we would have had an absolute massacre on our hands.
Never wished I'd been more wrong about a theory.
Not in a million years.
That's actually op
Another
spaceport komen.
attack, just as we're making our request. It's insane. If this doesn't convince the cabinet to proceed with our request, I don't know what will. Almost hard to believe. Suppose we were just in the right place at the right time.
Ben ik eens. Lijkt het eigenlijk wel.